We have more details about North Korea's launch yesterday of an intercontinental ballistic missile. North Korea state media reports leader Kim Jong-un was on hand to watch what's being called the country's biggest ICBM in 5 years. It reportedly stayed in the air for 68 minutes and reached an altitude of more than 3,900 miles before crashing into the sea between North Korea and Japan. That's longer and higher than any previous missile tests. Some military experts believe the so-called monster missile could travel more than 8,000 miles, putting all of the continental U.S. within range. KITV4's Tom George is live with what experts say this means for Hawaii's position in a difficult global political climate. Tom.
Well, Rick, this is something that it's easy to get concerned about, of course, because of our position right in the middle of the Pacific. Of course, along with the false missile alert a few years ago, a lot of people worried about this. But one military expert says it's important to keep things in perspective. Anytime there's a missile threat in the Pacific, it immediately raises the question, what does it mean for us in Hawaii? Well, the short answer, according to UH professor Jairus Grove, keep calm and carry on.
I think it's easier to feel concerned because we're closer, but in a global nuclear war, you're at as higher risk in Colorado, where NORAD is, or as higher risk in Louisiana, where Strategic Air Command is, as you are in Hawaii.
The longer answer is more complicated than that. North Korea has always been known for making these big cinematic shows of force, but at the end of the day, while these new kinds of missiles are longer range, he says it doesn't change the overall calculus of threat risk, and neither does the Ukraine-Russia situation.
Certainly not going to affect how much we develop a national missile defense in Hawaii or how we continue to improve interceptor capability. It just may change how many officers we have on the island or how many analysts we have on the island.
Regardless, Hawaii does have an important role to play amid changing global threats. In our one-on-one interview yesterday with Governor Ige, the governor reiterating his support for a strong military presence in our state.
The Indo-Pacific region is the most important region on the planet. And I'm proud that we have the commands of all of the Department of Defense agencies headquartered in Hawaii.
But moving forward, Grove says the escalation of weapons in multiple countries is something that needs to be addressed.
We're not ever going to win a nuclear war. Hopefully we'll never fight one. So it's time to figure out how to make diplomacy work differently.
Now, the way that this particular missile was fired, it was at a higher trajectory, but theoretically, again, if it were at that longer, flatter trajectory, it would have the continental U.S. in range. Tom George, KITV4 Island News.